Hello and welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. So, we are Baroness Sorceros. So, what are we going to do? Well, we have some quests. And well, we're going to basically have a look around them. So, we've already done a noble welcome. Got a tick next to it. I don't know why it's still there. It's kind of weird. Because that should not be there because it's a completed quest. Maybe there's some more to it. Maybe you have to go forward some days or something. I don't know. Anyway, we have Riverbed Nightmare, and this is one that we need to do. We need to go and speak with Nettle. This is very easy. We just go and speak with them. That seems like the most simple of quests to do. And what is our XP like? Let's say this one gives us 500 XP. We're getting well close to level 5, which is lovely. Oh, have we got a new background there? Or has that always been the background? That might always have been the background. Anyway, yes. So we got that to do. We also have this one. If we find a mighty monster, we've got to help Amiri kill it. Oh, sure, we can do that. How to build a kingdom. So we have to build a new building in the capital because the last good barn fell apart. Okay, we can do that. And apparently we have to appoint an advisor to a public post, which we've done. Okay, that's fine. So that's our next kingdom quest that we should be doing. An ancient curse is the one which we have 30 days till it becomes full power. And we have 41 days to do it, which means that we effectively have 12 days extra on top of the 30 days to basically be a buffer period where we can go up there. So we'll try and deal with that at 30 days. Should be fairly okay. I have made a note of that. I am actually making notes of all sorts of timing things, because I imagine that's going to be the main gameplay loop going forward, is we're going to have lots of things that come to us with timings. And we need to work out what we can do in what area and how long X thing is going to take compared to Y thing and trying to balance things out. Anyway. And then we have loyal servants. We have to find somebody to be a treasurer. Yet, we do not have anybody available. We need someone to be smart, well-educated, keen, honest beyond a doubt, and do such mortals even exist? I have no idea. But there was one person on the cards that we don't recognize, so presumably he's around here somewhere. Right, and now we just need to speak to everybody as well. What's this over here first, though? Ah, this is my box. Fantastic, so that proves that this box right here is basically our place to store things. That is lovely, right. Price in descending order. So this gets us all of the things that we can chuck in here. So anything that is glowing we will put in here for just now. Ooh, a ring. Ring of protection. That should go to somebody in particular. Yeah. But basically we'll stick all of this stuff in here for just now. Anything that we're not selling. Although, we actually don't know if we're going to run into an antiquities person. We'll chuck those back. Anything else that we're not selling which weighs something? I don't think so. No, I think we're okay actually on the rest of it. If I do weight in descending order. No, we're good. We're good. Right. We have spoken to Yod Kavkin, but let's speak to him again.
How may I serve you, your grace?
How are you enjoying your duties as the High Priest?
Everything is all well, your grace. I just keep forgetting what a mess it is in the stolen lands, and how troubled are the minds of its people. Sometimes I must listen to such nonsense from my visitors. Erastil, forgive them.
Okay, well, he seems to be doing all right. Well, thank you. See ya. Right, who else have we got? We got Keston.
How may I serve you, your grace?
What did you do to be exiled? I believe I have a right to know.
Fair enough. For a Garess, the prosperity of the house and the honor of the name stands above all else. And I was betrothed to a widow from another noble house. This union was of great importance to the family. However, 3 months before the wedding, I met a commoner girl, gentle and pure, and we fell in love. I would have rather died than leave my Tanya, so I decided to break off the engagement with my noble bride. I could never have expected what would follow.
I kind of get the feeling we've heard this, but okay.
My father was furious. I'd set a pointless love affair above the interests of the house. He expelled me from the family and ordered to leave our lands under threat of death. And Tanya, her mother was seriously ill, and she stayed behind to care for her rather than follow me into exile. Thus, I was on my own, disgraced, without a name, and without love. Don't imagine that I ask for pity. Everyone gets what they deserve.
If I were to offer you a public position, what job would you like to do?
I believe I can manage to uphold the law. Being a warden would suit me well.
Okay, we don't have Warden open to us yet, I don't think, but that's okay. We can keep him in mind. He seems alright, but he's probably going to support Brevoy over, or not Brevoy, no, it would be Brevoy over us. Or is Brevoy the top one and Roslin's the small one? Roslin's the smaller one, yeah, it's Roslind over us. Anyway, I think Brevoy's the free city. No, Brevoy's all of, anyway, there's a lot of different things, but we'll learn them all properly in time. Lindsay. Just a moment, I just got something. Lindsay quickly scribbles something in her notebook, then raises her eyes and smiles at you. Hi. I'm not going to say leave and do not return. I have to go. Right, that's fine.
Tread lightly.
Tristian. Oh, good, we got somebody we haven't spoken to yet. Tristian smiles as you approach. Greetings, how may this humble chosen of the great Sarene help you? Well, tell me about yourself. About myself? I wouldn't know where to begin. Tristian pauses for a moment in thought. You know my name, my faith, I follow Sarene, and I have travelled from the Hadisha Empire of Kalish to here. What else do you want to know? Hadisha Empire of Kalish dominates much of the south-central Kazmaran. It grew during the Age of Destiny, and its line of emperors have been unbroken for thousands of years. Half a dozen satrapies, the size of countries, separate Quadira from the imperial heartland of Kalish. Each satrapy pays homage to the decrees of the empire, but the grip of the empire is looser the farther one goes from its heart. Okay. Forgive me, but from your manner and appearance, you don't strike me as a Kalishite. Is that how you would say that? I guess so. Yeah. Tristian smiles softly. You have nothing to apologize for. Truly, I've received my name and appearance from my parents, who had come to Kalish from afar. I never knew them, for fate had separated us when I was young. So I grew up in Kalish, raised by the followers of Sarene. My home is where my heart is, within the temples of the great goddess, among the wise and generous men that took upon themselves the care of a child that was so unlike them. I learned mercy and patience at a young age, and it is these virtues that have made me the man I am today. Do you enjoy travelling? Tristian nods, his eyes light up. Oh yes, no library and no archive, however large, would have ever allowed me to learn as much of the world as I have in my journeys. It was only outside the temple walls I realized every living being is a world unto themselves, a world where many contradictions and passions coexist. Each realm leaves its mark on the lives that live there. Only by visiting it, by breathing the same air, walking on the same soil, can you understand its people, what drives them, what frightens them, their dreams, and how they honor their gods. Doesn't being outside the temple make you uncomfortable? Tristian shakes his head. There are many ways to honor one's gods, Soroceros. It is true shrines play a role in the lives of many of the faithful, but even more find other ways to serve Sarene. The healing light values good deeds above all else. I cannot stand by and watch evil claim others. Tristian thinks for a moment, then raises an eyebrow. Perhaps that is another reason I chose to go on my pilgrimage, leaving behind the temples of Kalish. Tristian touches his chest. My faith is in my heart and in my hands. Millions honor Sarene in her temples. My soul is filled with joy when I think of their devotion to the goddess. Nevertheless, my path is a different one. Do you know where you're going next? No, my thoughts were far from it. For my mission here is not yet done. Tristian stares at you in surprise. Why do you ask? Do you wish me to leave your lands? Of course not. You're my comrade in arms. I trust you completely. Tristian's face lights up. Oh, thank you. I am pleased I could be of assistance. Alright, well, let's discuss something else. Tristian lowers his head. Forgive me if my stories have bored you. I'm not accustomed to speaking about myself, and in truth, take little enjoyment in it. What can you tell me of Sarene? Sarene is the goddess of temperance and patience. She teaches us compassion for the weary and mercy to those who go astray. What would you like to know of her? Well, I'd like to hear about the history of your faith. There is much to tell, but I'm afraid I would miss the mark, and I fear I would bore you. Is there something specific you wish to know? How did Sarene come to be? Sarene is one of Galarion's eldest deities. Once, she was an angel that had gathered the armies of her celestial allies behind her. The battle in which she showed her valor decided the fate of a whole world. And, in her victory, she was rewarded with divinity. In the sacred text, Sarene is shown as a beautiful, bronze-skinned maiden, her hair dancing flame. Tristian smiles slightly. But her appearance is not what matters. It is the grace she brings with her touch, healing, and salvation. Tell me about the battle you mentioned. What was the act of valor of Sarene? Her greatest moments of glory in her battle against the monstrous Rogvagug, who threatened to destroy Galarian. What is her battle against the monstrous who threatened to destroy Galarian? Who is Rovagug? Imprisoned since the age of creation, the god Rovagug, also known as the Rough Beast, Great Destroyer, and the World Breaker, seeks only to destroy creation and other gods. Believed to be imprisoned in a state of torpor somewhere deep within Galarian, his increasing restless stirrings are taken by many to be the cause of volcanic activity and earthquakes. His worshippers are known for embodying the god's dominion over destruction, disaster, and wrath. Okay. Sarene delivered the strike that staggered the horrendous creature and allowed her allies to shackle it. Once the rough beast was captured, the goddess split the earth, and the gods threw the behemoth into the depths. Once it was done, the goddess sealed the pit and commanded her faithful to stay away from the scar that was left in the land. Tristian falls silent for a few moments. Alas, mortal beings are imperfect. Not even the most faithful among us can always follow their deity's commandments, even when such commandments are meant to save the world and their followers. I, for one, pray the goddess is never again as furious as she was with Gormuz. Okay, who's Gormuz? Misinterpreting their goddess's warnings to avoid its location, instead believing Gormuz to be a holy city of Sarene, people from all over Kazmaran flocked there for millennia, but were slowly corrupted by the imprisoned god Rovagug's dreams. Sarene continued sending portents and visions to her faithful in Gormuz during this period, but they were ignored or misinterpreted. She finally sent her herald, Kohal, to the people of Gormuz in negative 3923 AR, but they had been so corrupted that they destroyed him instead. In an act of great wrath, Sarene smote Gormuz with her scimitar, destroying it completely and creating an enormous rend in the earth, which eventually became known as the Pit of Gormuz. From this great chasm have emerged some of the most powerful and destructive creatures in the world's history, known collectively as the spawn of Rovagug. Okay, you've mentioned Gormuz. What happened to it? Tristian sighs. An error of faith, perhaps a lesson, but it speaks of the danger when one listens to mortal words and one stops listening to their faith. Sarene forbade her followers from coming near the place of Rovagug's imprisonment, but some of her priesthood misread her will and began to preach of a sacred place where the mightiest of temples dedicated to the goddess were constructed. The people listened to these sermons and went forth to the lands touched by Sarene's scimitar. On the scar that sealed the well, they founded Gormuz, a holy city that was to become the greatest monument to Sarene. Unsurprisingly, after the city was built, faithful from all Galarian travelled there to worship. Sarene sent omens and visions, urging her followers to leave this dangerous place filled with the dark will of the shackled Rovagug. But, in their pride, the people misinterpreted or ignored her signs altogether, for they had already come under Rovagug's influence. Finally, the goddess sent her herald to the city, but the fanatics killed him. Realizing the people had turned from her, the enraged goddess smote Gormuz, raising it from the face of Galarian with a single strike of her scimitar. Tristian shakes his head. Today, it is called the Pit of Gormas, a well of pain and suffering. Okay, tell me about the Pit of Gormas. Tristian shakes his head. It's a great crevasse in eastern Casmoron. The land surrounding it are dead, soaked in poison. The Pit of Gormas seems bottomless until someone dares to gaze into its depths. All who have dared tell of a strange distant glow, a glow that followed them in their dreams ever since. Throughout all history, the Pit of Gormas has spawned creatures, hideous beasts of overwhelming power, and driven by only a single desire to destroy everything they see. Some were defeated, such as the nightmarish Ulanat, whose carapace to this day towers above the capital of Orizion. Others proved too strong to be defeated by mortal hands. Tristian frowns. The most terrible of them all was Karaske, the Armageddon engine, who to this day lies dormant beneath Avastin. I'm trying to remember. Is Taras or Taraske? I think that might be. It's just vague memories from when a couple of times where I played Pathfinder. Is that not the monster that has like ridiculous stats and is like the end, like is the most powerful thing in the base monster manual or something like that? I think that's right. Anyway, have wars ever been waged in Sarene's name? Tristian sighs. Alas, yes. Terrible battles were once fought between the followers of Nithus, Norgorbur, and Sarene in the lands now known as Rahadum. To my shame, I must admit that this conflict was started by my brothers and sisters. They came to a foreign land to make way for the goddess's light with sword and fire. That calamity became known as the Oath Wars, a catastrophe that led to the inheritors of Rahadum to deny all gods, banning all faiths from their lands. Alas, the mortal vessel is imperfect, and even a pure faith may be distorted by blind ambition. Tristian goes silent for a moment. And great suffering may occur in its name. Okay, well, let's talk about something else. What are the teachings of Sarene? Solar Flare Goddess is the light of salvation. Solar Flame Goddess is the light of salvation, even to those who have been forsaken by the other gods. She teaches us mercy and forgiveness, for as long as they may be useful to a soul's salvation. You make it sound like the followers of Sarene will try and find good even in a bandit with a knife to their throat. Do not mistake compassion for weakness, Soroceros. One hand of Sarene is shrouded in healing light, the other holds a scimitar. Following their goddess, the priests learn to wield this weapon, starting in childhood. And they do not hesitate to use it if a dispute cannot be settled peacefully. Sarene preaches mercy, yet her compassion is not infinite. We give a second chance to all who ask, but if they reject it, if they persist in their sins, they will face the goddess's retribution. Are there any undeserving of mercy? Tristian blindly gazes past you into the distance for several moments. When he speaks again, his voice is quiet, reflective, as if echoing his thoughts. Undeserving of mercy? Would even Sarene herself find the compassion too? Tristian shudders, as if awaking from a trance. Forgive me, your words, they're not easy ones to reconcile, and even priests such as we debate them to this day. What is the point at which a soul is irredeemable? Or is it a failing of the priests themselves? These are difficult questions you ask, Soroceros, questions wise men have debated for centuries. Does a being that has been tainted by evil to its very roots, that rejects its own salvation, still deserve compassion? Can those compelled to do evil by others still seek forgiveness? There is no easy answers to these issues among Sarene's followers. As for me, I believe that every soul carries the potential for goodness within. No matter the crime, The guilty may find forgiveness if they repent and cast off the evil that led them to the deed. I believe this with all my heart, Soroceros. How do we feel? And I don't think it's stupid and pathetic. I don't know. You know what? I think we're going to go lawful good. I do not agree. There are crimes that cannot go unpunished. Tristian folds his arms. What is of greater importance? A living soul or the laws of nations? One's own salvation or the observance of rules? Know that I hold you in high esteem, but it is difficult for me to agree with you on this issue. What are your duties as a follower of Sarene? My goddess strives to see the best in even the dark gods. She never abandons the hope of the redemption. The priests of Sarene follow her teachings, akin to the healing light herself, who emanates warmth and heeds the call of those in need. We aid the suffering in body and spirit throughout Golarion. The priests of Sarene are willing to help anyone, no matter the faith of the one in need. Each plea must be heard. Every misfortune deserves compassion, be it a peasant seeking a blessing for the harvest, or a murderer seeking repentance the night before their execution. Sometimes, the mercy of Solar Flame Goddess is the last thing that can save one's soul from ruin. We have no right to withhold it from the truly repentant. Alright, let's ask one more thing. Actually, two more things. Well, one more thing. Oh no, we're still on Sarene. Oh right, we're still in a subcategory. How is Sarene worshipped? Many worship Solar Flame Goddess in her temples. Some make the pilgrimage to the Everlight Oasis, but even those who do not serve the goddess directly rarely shun the festivities dedicated to her, the Sunrot Festival for one. The Everlight Oasis, a holy site for followers of Sarene, is situated in Zel-Shabar, a satrapy of the Empire of Kalish in Kazmoron. The oasis is said to have healing and rejuvenating qualities, and the followers of the Sun Goddess come from far and wide to bathe in the water and to commune with fellow members of the faith from other lands. Unfortunately, with the pilgrims come those who wish to prey upon them, and some of them end up robbed or beaten or worse. What are the temples of Sarene like? Sarene's shrines are often open to the sky and to the goddess's life-bringing sunlight. Her light fills the temple, enshrouds the parish in warmth, and grants its blessing to all in need. In Kalish, crowds gather during the services, so all may feel the blessing of the goddess. The most ingenious devices are constructed by some of the faithful to please the goddess. I have seen a temple of Sarene, which housed a complicated array of mirrors to direct the light of the sun to the altar. Tell me of the Everlight Oasis. I have never been there, but the stories say it is a wondrous place sacred to Sarene's faithful. The oasis is located in Zil-Shabar, which lies in Kazmoron. Pilgrims from throughout Golarion travel there, seeking the goddess's blessing. Zil-Shabar is a satrapy in the Empire of Kalish, situated on the edge of the Empire's imperial lands. Its claim to fame is that it's the location of the Everlight Oasis, a site of pilgrimage for the followers of Sarene. Not sure we needed that, but okay. We kind of got that from the oasis itself, but whatever. According to legend, the waters of the Everlight Oasis are imbued with healing properties, and anyone who bathes in them shall be cured of any ailment. Tristian smiles in thought. Just imagine, a place where people from all around the world come together to worship. What stories they must share. What's the Sunrot Festival? The Sunrot Festival takes place on the day of the summer solstice, when the prayers of her flock can reach Sarene the easiest. On this day, Kalish blooms with colour. In each corner of the Padishah Empire, the people praise their goddess by dancing and singing, setting off fireworks and flying kites. I hope this beautiful custom shall one day reach your lands as well, Soroceros. I do like being kind of a gnome who's all about fae stuff, because it gives me a good reason to be asking these very simple questions like, What's this festival that everybody celebrates? I'm a gnome. I'm not from around here. You got a little bit more leeway, I'd say. Like, if I was a priest of Sarene and I came into the same conversation, well, hopefully they'd have a different take on it. But assuming it's the same, it would feel a little bit more out of place. Anyway, that's all I want to know about this. And I've heard enough of Sarene. I'm not going to say it's not worth a damn. If you ever wish to know more about the goddess, just ask. What brought you to these lands? I've heard rumors. They say these lands are cursed, and the curses are growing stronger, as if something is granting them power. I could not ignore such rumors. What curses are you talking about? Tristian cocks his head to the side in wonder. Do you not see? Every word uttered in the heat of an argument turns into a prophecy here, just waiting to fulfill itself. And if it were only for the people, the land itself is seething with curses so ancient their origins are impossible to trace. Take the abandoned temple of Aristil where we met. What happened to it? What force compelled the priest to leave such a magnificent temple behind to the whims of nature? Will we ever know? I myself was nearly slain by beasts. Fortunately, you came along, following Jod, and saved me. I owe you a great debt. You've come a great distance indeed. Tristian laughs heartily. Ah, when you look at it that way, then yes. But please do not think that I came all the way from Kalish because of mere curiosity. I was wandering long before that. It is a custom of our faith. The farther our paths take us, the more people we may help. Why did Jod see you in his premonition? Sarene sees all the good gods and goddesses as our allies. Many have fought alongside the goddess against the menace of Rodavog, Aristil among them. By offering my prayers to Sarene, I let her know of my misfortune at the Temple of the Elk. The merciful goddess did not ignore my plea. But whom could she have asked for aid than Aristil, whose faith is strong in these lands? Aristil had sent Jod a sign, and you came in just in time to rescue me, Tristian sighs. To tell the truth, I was certain my journey was at an end, and those creatures were to be the death of me. You spent much time here. What do you think the future holds for these lands? These are cruel lands. As I came here, I bore witness to much pain and suffering, but I have seen equal kindness among those seeking to protect themselves and their loved ones. The people of the Stolen Lands are resolute and true to themselves, and I admire their strength. Alas, I do not know yet what powers the curses that flourish in this land, but I swear I will not leave until we have the answer and the means to cleanse them. You must forgive me for not swearing on Sarene's name, but as of late I have troubled the goddess too much as it is, and it would be better to serve her through action, not prayer. Alright, let's change the subject. You call yourself the Chosen of Sarene. What did you mean by that? Sorry, that was a mere jest. Other acolytes at my temple used to tease me with that title. This should tell you how pious and devoted I was compared to them. And yet my faith is strong. Sarene knows this and protects me in times of great peril. If something ever threatens my life, by her divine powers I am transported to a safe location. Oh, interesting. So he has the same thing that Lindsay has, which means that he must be a very important character, much like Lindsay. Well, I should go. Tristian bows his head. A pleasure. Okay, now, is he actually a member of our party now? He is indeed. Well, wait, can we not level him up, or is he just level 3 forever? If he's level 3, then we've got a serious issue. Oh, do I have to open the character screen? Oh no, we got Pillar of Support. Ever Sarene's loyal servant Tristian arrived in the Stolen Lands with a difficult task to learn why all manner of curses seem to flourish in here. While the answer remains uncertain, this merciful and sympathetic cleric helps his companions with his prayers, spells, and guidance. Okay, so he's an Eclithurge? An Eclithurge? What the hell is an Eclithurge? So he's the touch of good. So he can give a bonus for half his cleric level to an ally. He has a bonded holy symbol that can prepare 1 extra spell. Blessing of the Faithful. Bless one ally within 30 feet and get +2 bonus on attack rolls, skill checks, ability checks, saving throws, and AC until the Eccothurge's next turn. It's only a round, but okay. And then they can expend 1 use of channeled energy when activating this ability to increase the duration to number of rounds equal to the dice of his channeled energy. Ah, interesting. I kind of like that. He's got Chosen of Sarene. Yeah, that's fine. He's chosen his deity. Blessings of the Faithful. Are these spells or are these other things? No, this is spells. Okay. As a standard action, can bless one ally within close range. The ally gains a +2 bonus. Oh, we already read that one. That was up here as well. Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's short and this is long. I see. We have the proficiencies, which is fine. Worship Sarene. Okay, that's all okay. That's fine. He is only level 3, so we do need to level him up. Luckily, he will level up in town. When we get XP, he will also get XP. And as the levels get higher and higher, it's more XP to level up. So he should eventually catch up with everyone, even if he's not on the exact same XP. Like, say, this one's at 13,000, right? If we get another 3,000 XP, he's level 3, they're level 5. But if the next one after this is, say, 30,000, right? Then he would only need to get another 6,000 on top of that, where we would need to get another 15,000. You see what I'm saying? So basically, he will catch up at some point. Like, he'll be the same level as the rest of our party at some point. I'm not sure if we're going to take him straight away, but, you know, it's cool. Cool to have him around. And he is neutral good. He's just generally good. He's not lawful, he's not chaotic. He's all about Sarene. Got it. He's not about following laws, he's about doing the right thing, basically. Hey, Amiri. Hey, Chief. Amiri gives you a broad grin. What's on your mind? Well, thanks for talking with me. Let's speak again later. Talking. When will we do some monster killing instead? Okay, so nothing new from her. Anyone else in here?
I feel tired.
Oh, storyteller. Is he the new one? He looks similar. Is he the blind elf? Yes, he is. He's our last card. Perfect. The man standing before you resembles an elf, but a very old one. His face is wrinkled, and his white beard falls to his waist. The man seems to be completely blind. The old man stares past you with unseeing eyes. He seems to be consumed by his thoughts. He mutters a soft melody, swaying back and forth slightly to its rhythm. The man shudders briefly and stops singing. His mouth opens and closes a few times, bringing to mind a fish brought ashore. Ah, who is there? Is that you, your grace? Who are you? I am an elf from Kyonin. My name is not important. I am the storyteller, collector of stories. I collect unknown legends of ancient time. And what's interesting is he's an elf from Kyonin, and we have somebody who was exiled from Kyonin who has assassins after her. So presumably he's going to have something to say about that at some point, but we'll get to that whenever we get to it. The man smiles. This doesn't seem to be directed towards you. Long ago, I was a smith in Kyonin. The fire of the forge has burned out my eyes, but I am grateful for it. If I could see, I would yet forge suits of armor for Ayadara's guards. Instead, I have stepped on the path of an adventurer and gatherer of ancient legend. The old man ponders silently for a moment. Many peoples are long dead, their homes crumbled to dust, and their bodies turned to ash. Only legends can still tell us of their triumphs and defeats, their joys and fears. I would be so interested to hear the stories told about us after our demise. I have always been drawn to the Stolen Lands, where countless expeditions and armies and even kingdoms have met their untimely end. When I learned of a new barony being founded in the heart of these lands, I knew I wanted to be part of its story, so I made the journey here. Are you really an elf? Do other elves age like you have? A common question. Despite my unusual looks, I am an elf. And an old one, yes. Perhaps older than any other elf of Kyonin. However, I doubt my age alone is responsible for my appearance. I keep the stories of many people and races, some forever gone from the face of Galarian, but they live on in my memory and my heart. When I accept a new story, I lock it within myself, bearing the weight of its words and the emotions they invoke. Sometimes I think I should probably have died long ago, but some incomprehensible force is keeping me alive and granting me the ability to continue my quest to gather stories. Be it divine power or fell curse, I am grateful either way. How could you tell it was me? The old man smiles slightly. It is not so hard to recognize a ruler by the way she walks. No one in here steps as confidently as you, your grace. Alright, would you care to trade stories with me? The man's voice rustles like autumn leaves. I am a collector, not a trader. If I wish to share a story with you, you receive the power to pass it further, changing or embellishing it, whether willingly or not. Can I be certain you will keep my stories intact in their absolute purity? The storyteller ponders for several moments. No, I do not think so. At least not yet. These legends are the most precious valuables of this world, the last remnants of ancient tribes. They are beacons, illuminating the way to the past, allowing us to meet generations long gone. I cannot let their light fade. The path to the past must not be lost. The old man thinks for a moment, but then continues. But I can offer you a deal, your grace. If you find some items belonging to eras past, bring them to me. If I recognize the stories hidden in those items, I would gladly share them with you. He's the antiquities dealer, I got it. And if you find all the pieces of any hidden artifacts, I can even recall my smithing skills to unite them and restore their power. Okay, before we get that, I need a wise advisor at my court. Would you like to serve me in matters of state? The storyteller's voice grows soft. Thank you for your words. I am unlikely to be able to interpret the intricacies of the political world or the affairs of the treasury, but my advice regarding the magic of the arts would be useful to any ruler. Okay, I found the shards of an ancient artifact. Can you restore it for me at the anvil? May I? The storyteller gently touches the items from your pack. This scorched piece of metal is part of a curious artifact known as the Necklace of Double Crosses. Inside it I sense a story of many deeds, not heroic, but low and maleficent. If you find all of its fragments, I will be able to restore the artifact and recount its inglorious history. Remember me, should you find anything noteworthy. I brought some relics. Are any worthy of a story? The storyteller's eyebrows raise. How interesting. May I, your grace? He gently touches the items from your pack. A coin from a non-existent country. When Charles the Conqueror mastered Rostland, having claimed it for Roy, he prohibited the issuance and use of such coins. Both ordinary folk and the Aldori sword lords were required to use new coins decorated with Charles' profile. But no one was quick to be rid of these prohibited coins. Oh no. In many houses they still store boxes and whole chests of such coins, waiting for the day when Rostland declares its independence. Nice, lots of money. The storyteller's fingers caress the symbol shaped like a tree leaf. And what is this? I hear the voices of trees, smell the scent of fresh leaves. A dryad mark, is it not? I would be happy to purchase it from you. The storyteller idly toys with the ancient plain-looking coin. What was the name of the Coloran ruler who issued this coin? Does anyone remember now? What did the Cyclops use it to purchase? Food? Books? Weapons? Perhaps someone's life or their freedom. Who can tell? Its stories were erased by Earthfall. but I will buy it from you for significantly more than it was worth in its own time. Coloron was a name by which an ancient Cyclops empire was known in the records of Ibaldos, which itself was one of the oldest human civilizations in Casmaron. The empire was founded by exiled Cyclopses escaping from the brutal Gol Khan, but did not last long. Today, the area that was Coloran is part of Iobaria. The empire was destroyed in the event known as the Earthfall and the ensuing chaos of the Age of Darkness. We've already learned about Earthfall earlier. The storyteller weighs the soldier's tag in his palm. Soldier who does not ask where the banners of war are headed. He or she goes to battle, dies, and leaves it to others to decide whether the cause was just. This tag belonged to one of many warriors who helped establish the glory of the Taldan Empire. If you would permit me, I would gladly purchase it from you. Ah, the belongings of brave heroes who performed their feats here before you. I sense you would be interested to hear their story, but there are too few of them here for me to recount it yet. Please find the rest. I'm sure you won't regret the time you spend in the search. Okay, so we've already gone through everything, I think. Let's have a look. How many things do we still have left? I'll go back to us. Fine. So we still have the scorched fragments of a necklace, and we need more of those. We still have the sheath, the broken arrow, the crumpled helmet, and the broken crossbow. Okay, so if I speak to him again, I assume he doesn't have anything more, right? Yeah, he just tells us we need more. Yeah, it's basically a check to see whether we've got the items we need. That's fine.
Let us be careful.
But it doesn't tell us when we have them. But we are now significantly richer.
I feel tired.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's not my problem if you feel tired, to be honest with you. Right. Can we leave? We can indeed, but we can also go further in if we want to. Okay. Let's go this. There was another door back here which I want to check. Yeah, does this take us outside or where does this take us? Kind of intrigued. This takes us to our room where we can rest. Nice. And it gives us another chest back here which has all of our stuff in it. It's fine. We could rest, but I think we can I think if we press R we get the same effect and we just rest here. But I don't really want to waste a day, so let's head out and have a look around the town. We've kind of explored everything in here. There's a tavern, there's a bounty board, there's so much out here. We did spend half an hour talking to Tristian, but to be fair, he's a new companion, and that's kind of what you do. You learn everything you need to know about them forever, and then that's fine. Wait, did we duplicate these? Wait a second. So if I take one, okay, not duplicated. Okay, thought I'd just check. Not that I would use that as a strategy, but I was just like, that's intriguing. Okay, let's have a look around. So, taking a while to load in. We must have a big town. Or at least a lot of people in it, I'd assume. We'll see though. I mean, it is the Stag Lord's old fortress. Oh, stop saying you feel tired. Oh, I like how everyone's like, good day, your grace, good day, your grace, good day, your grace. Oh, we can't do anything with the bounty board. Okay. Ooh, we've got a bunch of people here. The old prison, the one the Stag Lord was using for his wine cellar. Hey, Valerie. Greetings, Valerie sighs. Everything is well, I hope. I'm ready for new orders. Nah, we don't need to do anything else. Hey, Highland. Hilland, you see a stout man, suited in well-worn armor. His face is framed with silvery stubble, and his fleshy nose is red and pockmarked. He radiates perfect calm. As you approach, he bows respectfully and with dignity. Highland, your grace, captain of the city guard. A young dwarf girl salutes you awkwardly. Delia, assistant to the captain. Happy to serve your grace. I don't remember hiring a guard captain, or any guards for that matter. I came here from Restov with a dozen of my best guards, by order of Lady Jamandi Aldora, your grace. I hired the rest from among the locals. Don't you worry, your grace. We are now the subjects of the barony. We've sworn to serve you faithfully and loyally. You can count on us. Besides, we draw our salary from your chests. The captain looks at the female guard, raising his brow, then sighs and looks at you. Of course, every one of us is ready to die protecting your grace. But there's still some work to be done when it comes to discipline. You know the dwarven author, Baldric Zebras, Garlic Tundras. The name escapes me. My boneheads used to read his books about guard's duties right on guard duty. Guard duty right on guard duty? I'll have to teach them a lesson or two. Oh, because they were reading his books about guard duty while being on guard duty. I understand, right. I like to learn something about those who serve me. Of course, your grace. I've been a guard all my life. I started a snot-nosed runt in the night watch. Restov was famous for its fencing schools. Young people from all the river kingdoms came to study there. Seems every other person has a sword, and every third thinks that they know how to use it better than all the rest. A misspoken word or drunken fight can quickly lead to a stabbing rampage. That's why there are so many guards in this city. They just don't accept... just anyone. Lady Jamandi took note of my achievements and marked me for advancement. That's why I'm here. As for Delia, I found her on the streets about a decade ago. I remember vividly a tiny dwarf girl sitting on the temple steps, dirty face, barefoot, feeding a piece of bread to a stray cat. I saw her and my heart missed a beat. The captain looks away. Where she's from, who left her alone, and why? Only Era still knows. As she grew, I tried to send her to learn a craft. But who can talk sense into a dwarf? She wanted to be a guard and that's it. Now I'm teaching her myself. Lucky she has a head on her shoulders and a fair bit of strength. Highland, do the guards have everything they need? There are sufficient munitions and supplies, your grace. The salary is fair, with enough to buy toys for the kids and a jug of beer when the shift is done. Of course, the town is growing and it would be nice to expand the ranks, but we can manage that ourselves. I have to go. Have a quiet shift. Okay, so what happens if we speak to Delia? Okay, it's the same one. Basically, same conversation either way. Okay. So apparently Tristian's over here now. So he's moved. Okay, that's fine. Is that our horse? I can't move. I have no control over moving. Oh, this is an issue. We're stuck. Alright, well. That's not what I meant to do. Save game. Load game. Hope that we can move. Right. That's the first one of those bugs we've had. Being completely unable to move. That was a strong bush we walked into. Right. See how it goes.
I feel tired.
I know you feel tired, but you can at least move. So these horses we can't take with us, presumably. No. Okay, so so this Tristian stands over here. What's this building? This is the tavern?
I'll go ahead.
We've got a citizen and we've got his stuff. Well, hey citizen, this is now my stuff. Taxes, you know? Just the way things are. Right, got a bunch of guards. This is the tavern, right? Yeah, this is the tavern. Ooh, where are we going? Around this way. That's fine. Bunch of guards. Okay. Arisno. A woman in rich, gold-embroidered clothes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the color of molten gold, shine brightly in her dusky face. Greetings, noble ruler of these lands. My name is Arisno. I'm a messenger from the temple of Abadar in Absalom. I came here assuming the citizens of your young barony could use the services of a priest. Tell me about actually, no. You're an Aasimar, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, are Aasimars not angels, effectively? I suppose it's easy to tell, isn't it? Yes, I'm an Aasimar. Although, I'm not sure how or even when the blood of Celestials appeared in my family. Among all my relatives and known ancestors, I'm the only one who inherited it. I must admit, I'm glad this lot fell to me. It draws more attention to me, a useful trait for a priest who wishes to gather a congregation. How did you come to my barony? Ah, that's a long story and not a terribly exciting one. I was born and raised in Absalom, but saw little point in staying there. What's the purpose of promoting the faith of Abadar in a city already so large and well developed? No, I was drawn to backwater places where civilization was just beginning to emerge. It gives me such joy to see the first stones of a new settlement being laid, or to see wilderness that once harbored monsters and criminals become a safe, cozy home for people. I've devoted my life to my travels, and choosing to visit places like your barony. Allow me to say, it's a place after my own heart. A city growing under the remains of a bandit lord's lair is exactly the sort of triumph of the triumph of civilization Abadar prescribes. I hope my skills as a priest will be of service to these lands and their denizens. Okay. If you're so eager to help the citizens, why do you charge for your services? It's part of Abadar's philosophy. The rules of trade and exchange developed for a reason. They help bring order to our world. They mustn't be broken without need. The opportunity to get what one desires for no effort has a corrupting effect on souls. So tell me about Abadar. With pleasure. Abadar is the god of cities, laws, merchant, and wealth. The core of his teachings is simple. Law and order allows civilization to develop, which allows people to live in peace and prosperity. If Aras still favors old customs, small settlements, and simple trades like hunting, then Abadar patronizes civilization, complex trade, order, and entrepreneurship. Each priest of Abadar finds something personal in serving him. I believe that law is the main aspect of their faith, and they guard it zealously. Others put the well-being of their society above all. I personally follow Abadar's teachings that say civilization must penetrate the wildest savage lands and help people live in comfort and safety. I could use the help of a cleric. Yeah, let's see what we got. She sells a bunch of cleric stuff, as did Jod. Okay. Right, well, we still have a lot more of our city to explore, but I think it's time to end the episode here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.